Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you've ever looked through your change and thought, this quarter could be worth something, you might be right. Today we're counting down the top 5 most valuable Washington quarter dollar coins that are selling for big money in today's coin market. Make sure you watch until the end because the number 1 coin on this list sold for a jaw-dropping amount that could literally change your life, so let's get it started. Top 1, the Washington quarter dollar from 1972, especially when it appears in extra fine, XF condition. Is this coin rare? Does it hold big market value today? And what historical background makes collectors chase after it? Stay tuned because we are breaking down everything you need to know. History of the Washington quarter. To understand the 1972 quarter, we need to rewind back to the origins of the Washington quarter series. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932, created to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The design was done by sculptor John Flanagan, and it became one of the most iconic American coin designs. Originally struck in 90% silver, the coin's composition changed in 1965 due to rising silver prices. After 1965, quarters switched to a copper-nickel clad composition, meaning the 1972 quarter is part of the modern clad era. By 1972, the U.S. Mint was producing millions of Washington quarters every year. But despite the high mintage, certain coins stood out, especially those preserved in extra fine condition. Let's quickly go over the key details of the 1972 Washington quarter. Denomination: 25 cents. Composition: copper-nickel clad. Weight: 5.67 grams. Designer: John Flanagan. Mint marks: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, San Francisco. Proof: even though millions were made, an extra fine 1972 quarter can still be desirable for collectors. What makes an extra fine, XF, condition valuable in coin? Grading: extra fine, also known as XF40 to XF45, describes a coin with high detail, still visible light where on the highest surfaces, sharp rims and readable lettering. Good eye appeal. Most 1972 quarters today are heavily circulated, scratched, worn, or discolored. So when collectors find one in extra fine condition, it becomes a premium quality example worth saving. While the 1972 quarter is not considered extremely rare, certain features can make it valuable. Double die errors: these are among the most sought-after rarities. Collectors look for doubling on the word liberty. The motto: I in God we trust. The date: 1972. The reverse lettering: a strong double die can increase the value dramatically. Off-center strikes: if the coin is struck off-center, especially 10% to 40% misaligned, it becomes more valuable. Clipped planchet: a small chunk missing from the edge from the minting process can make a coin collectible. Market value of the 1972 quarter, extra fine condition. Now the question everyone wants answered: how much is a 1972 Washington quarter worth today in extra fine condition? Let's break it down. 1972 quarter market value: extra fine XF condition, Philadelphia, no mint mark, around $1 to $3. Denver, around $1 to $3. San Francisco, in circulated grade, $2 to $4 in high grade. Proof: $8 to $15. Rare error values: strong double die, $50 to $300 plus off-center strike, $20 to $80. Clipped planchet, $15 to $60. So while the regular 1972 quarter is common, coins with special errors or in exceptional condition can reach much higher prices. Background of today's market: the market for Washington quarters, especially clad coins from the 1970s, has been growing. This is because new collectors are entering the hobby. Many young collectors love affordable coins from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. High-grade coins are getting harder to find. Circulated coins are everywhere, but extra fine and mint state examples are becoming increasingly scarce. Error coins have exploded in popularity. Collectors are hunting for double dies, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets. Online auctions increase visibility. Platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and whatnot have made it easier to buy and sell rare quarters. In short, the 1972 quarter may not be $1 million coin, but it definitely has a solid position in today's collector market. If you have a 1972 Washington quarter in extra fine condition, here's what you should do. Check for doubling under magnification. Examine the edges for clipped planchets. Look for off-center strikes. Store it in a protective holder. Avoid cleaning the coin. This lowers its value. And that brings us to the end of today's video. The 1972 Washington quarter in extra fine condition might not make you rich, but it's definitely a collectible piece with history, character, and real market value, especially if you find an error variety. Top 2, the 1969 Washington quarter dollar. Even when it's found in bad condition, is it rare? Does it have big market value? What makes it interesting for collectors today? Let's dive into the history, the background, and the current market value of this 1969 American classic. To understand the 1969 quarter, we have to go back to the beginning. The Washington quarter series began in 1932, commemorating George Washington's 200th birthday. Designed by John Flanagan, The coin features Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, originally struck in 90% silver, but after rising silver prices, the metal changed to copper, nickel-clad starting in 1965. So by 1969, the United States Mint was producing millions of these new clad coins, durable, shiny, and built for heavy circulation. The 1969 quarter is not extremely rare by itself, but it stands out for a few reasons. Early clad era coin collectors love coins from the transition period after silver was removed. High circulation. These coins were used heavily, so most examples today are scratched, worn, and in bad condition. Valuable era varieties. Some 1969 quarters have rare mint errors that can bring impressive prices even when worn. 1969 quarter mint marks and mintage. Let's take a quick look at the mint marks and how many were made. 1969, no mint mark, Philadelphia. 176 million struck 1969. D. Denver. 114 million struck 1969. San Francisco. Minted only as proof coins. Millions were made, but after 55 years of circulation, a lot of them have been lost, damaged, or worn down. What is bad condition? In coin collecting, when collectors say a coin is in bad condition, it usually means heavy wear, loss of details on Washington's hair and eagle feathers, scratches, dents, stains, discoloration, or corrosion, edge damage. No eye appeal. These coins won't bring big collector premiums unless they have rare errors or special characteristics. Rare errors on the 1969 quarter, high value even in bad condition. Some errors can turn a damaged or circulated 1969 quarter into a valuable collectible. Double die obverse. Look for doubling on Liberty, Indiana. God we trust. The date, 1969. A strong DDO can bring $100 to $700 plus, even in bad condition. Off-center strike. If the design is shifted 10% to 60% off-center value, $20 to $150 plus. Clipped planchet. 8 chunk missing from the coin's edge value, $10 to $60 plus. Broad strike or missing rim value, $15 to $1.45 plus. So yes, even a worn-out 1969 quarter can be valuable if it has one of these mint errors. Market value of the 1969 quarter in bad condition. Now let's talk about what most people want to know: the true market value of a 1969 Washington quarter today in bad condition. 1969 quarter value, bad condition. 1969, no mint mark, Philadelphia. 25 cents to $1. 1969 D. 25 cents to $1. 1969 S. Proof, damaged or circulated, $1 to $3. Error coins in bad condition. Strong double die, $100 to $700 plus. Off-center strike, $20 to $150. Clipped planchet, $10 to $60. Broad strike, $15 to $45. So while a normal worn 1969 quarter isn't rare, the error varieties hold real money even if the coin looks ugly and heavily circulated. Background of today's coin market. The market for Washington quarters has remained strong for several reasons. Growing interest from young collectors. Affordable coins from the 60s and 70s are popular entry-level collectibles. Increasing demand for error coins. People love hunting for hidden treasures. Online auctions boost visibility. Platforms like eBay, Etsy, Heritage, and whatnot make buying and selling easier. High-grade quarters are harder to find. Most 1969 quarters are worn out, so collectors pay more for better pieces or rare errors. Should you keep a 1969 quarter in bad condition? You might be wondering, is it worth saving a 1969 quarter that's worn, scratched, or in terrible shape? The answer is yes if it has an error. Otherwise, it has mainly face value. Here's what you should do. Don't clean the coin. Check for doubling. Look for clipped edges. Check if the strike is off-center. Photograph the coin before selling. Store it safely if you suspect an error. And that wraps up today's deep dive into the 1969 Washington quarter dollar from the United States of America. Even in bad condition, while a normal coin may not be highly valuable, rare mint errors can transform an ordinary quarter into a collectible worth real money. Top 3. The 1968 Washington quarter dollar with the D mint mark. Even when it's in bad condition. So is this coin rare? Does it have big market value today? What makes the 1968 D quarter interesting for collectors? Let's dive deep into the history, background, errors, and current market prices to understand the 1968 D quarter. Let's first travel back to the origins of the Washington quarter. The Washington quarter series began in 1932, created to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington, America's first president. Designed by John Flanagan, the obverse shows Washington, while the reverse displays a bold American eagle from 1932 to 1964. Quarters were made of 90% silver, but rising silver prices led to a massive change in U.S. coinage in 1965. The mint switched to a copper, nickel-clad composition. By the time we get to 1968, the Washington quarter was a fully established clad coin, durable, modern, and meant for heavy circulation. Why the 1968 D quarter is interesting. The 1968 D. Washington quarter has a few features that make collectors pay attention. First year when mint marks returned to the coin from 1965 to 1967, U.S. coins had no mint marks. 1968 brought back mint marks, including the D part of the early clad era. Collectors like these coins because they represent a major shift in U.S. coin making. Tons of circulation where most of these coins today are found in bad condition, with heavy scratches, worn down details, corrosion, discoloration, dents, weak rims. Error coins in 1968 are very collectible. Some mint mistakes can be worth big money even when the coin is worn out. Mintage of the 1968 D quarter. Let's look at how many 1968 D quarters were produced. 1968 D Washington quarter, Denver Mint, 101 million minted. Even though the mintage was high, most of these coins lived long, rough lives in circulation. A lot of them have been lost, destroyed, or are now in very bad condition. What does bad condition mean when collectors describe a coin as in bad condition? It usually means deep scratches, lots of wear on Washington's hair, worn eagle feathers, faded lettering, rim damage, dirty surfaces, no luster left. Normally bad condition reduces value except in the case of rare errors, valuable errors on the 1968 D quarter. Now this is where the 1968 D quarter becomes exciting. Certain error varieties can still be worth good money even in heavily circulated, bad condition. Double die obverse doubling visible on Liberty, Indiana. God we trust. The date, 1968. Value in bad condition $80 to $300 plus. Double die reverse doubling on United States of America quarter dollar. The eagle feathers value $60 to $250 plus. Off center strike. The design is stamped off to the side, value $25 to $150 plus. Broad strike coin appears stretched or without a rim, value $15 to $60. Clipped planchet, a small piece missing from the coin's edge, value $10 to $50 plus. Die breaks cuts, extra metal from a cracked die, value $20 to $100 plus. So even if your 1968 D quarter looks terrible, it could still be valuable if it has one of these errors. Market value of the 1968 D quarter today, bad condition. How much is a regular 1968 D quarter worth today in bad condition? 1968 D quarter value, bad condition, 25 cents to $1. Very worn or damaged piece still around. Face value. Error coins in bad condition. Strong DDO, $80 to $300 plus. DDR, $60 to $250 plus. Off center strike, $25 to $150. Clipped planchet, $10 to $50 plus. Broad strike error, $15 to $60. Cut die break, $20 to $100 plus. So while the regular 1968 D quarter isn't rare, the errors are where the big money is. Background of today's coin market. The coin collecting market has changed a lot in recent years, and here's why. 1968 D quarters are increasing in demand. Rising interest in older U.S. coins. Collectors love the 1960s and 1970s era. Error coins are trending. YouTube, TikTok, and online communities have boosted popularity. Growing online marketplace. People buy and sell daily on eBay, Etsy, whatnot, Heritage, and Facebook groups. High-grade coins are disappearing. Most 1968 D quarters are worn out, making uncirculated pieces more valuable. Should you keep a 1968 D quarter in bad condition? If you find this coin in bad condition, here's what you should do. Keep it. If it has an error, it has unusual markings, you think it could be a double die, it's off-center, the planchet looks clipped, but if it's just worn with no error, it's worth face value 25 cents. And that wraps up our deep dive into the 1968 D Washington quarter dollar. Even in bad condition, while the regular coin isn't rare, the valuable error varieties can bring real money in today's collector market. Top for the 1967 Washington quarter dollar. Especially when found in extra fine condition. Is it rare? Does it have big market value today? What makes it special from a historical perspective? Let's dive deep into the history, rarity, background, and current market value of this interesting 1967 quarter. To understand the importance of the 1967 quarter, we must step back to the beginning of the Washington quarter series, first issued in 1932, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. Washington's portrait on the obverse, a powerful American eagle on the reverse. The coin originally contained 90% silver, then came a major change. 1965 Coinage Act, the big transformation because of rising silver prices. The United States removed silver from dimes and quarters starting in 1965, so by 1967, the quarter was completely copper, nickel-clad, no silver at all. And the 1967 quarter belongs to one of the most unusual periods in American coin history. There are three major reasons this coin stands out in the Washington quarter series. No mint marks allowed, 1965 to 1967. During this 3-year period, the U.S. Mint removed mint marks to discourage coin hoarding, so the 1967 quarter has no mint mark. Even though it was struck at multiple mints, 1967 quarters were used heavily for decades. Finding one today in extra fine condition is much harder than people think. Early clad era collectible collectors appreciate coins from the transition away from silver. Now let's talk numbers. 1967 Washington quarter mintage over 1.5 billion struck. That's huge, one of the highest mintages in U.S. history. Specifications: composition: copper, nickel clad, weight 5.67 grams, diameter 24.3 millimeters. Designer: John Flanagan. Edge: reeded mint mark. None, not used in 1967, even though the mintage is high. Extra fine examples have become less common due to extreme circulation. What is extra fine condition in coin grading? Extra fine, also known as XF40 to XF45, means the coin still has high-quality details. XF features sharp details in Washington's hair, eagle feathers, mostly visible, light to moderate where clean surfaces, strong rims, good eye appeal, no major scratches or dents. Since most 1967 quarters are worn down, finding an extra fine one is significantly more collectible. Rare errors on the 1967 quarter, high value. Now let's talk about the part everyone loves, the rare and valuable mint errors. Double die obverse doubling on Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, or the date value in XF $75 to $300 plus double die reverse doubling on United States of America, quarter dollar, or the eagle value $60 to $250. Design shifted to the left or right value in XF $40 to $200 plus clipped planchet part of the coin's edge missing value $20 to $80. Broad strike coin struck without the collar ring, value $20 to $70. So even though most 1967 quarters are common, error varieties can bring real money, especially in extra fine condition. Market value of the 1967 quarter in extra fine condition. Now the most important question: what is the 1967 Washington quarter worth today in extra fine condition? Normal coin in extra fine $1 to $3, higher XF grade $3 to $5. Error coin values in XF condition: strong DDO or DDR $75 to $300 plus off center strike $40 to $200. Clipped planchet $20 to $80. Broad strike $20 to $70. Die break cut $15 $100. So while the standard 1967 quarter does not carry huge value, the error varieties and high-grade examples are desirable and can bring serious collector interest. Background of today's coin market: the modern coin market is changing fast, and here's why. Coins like the 1967 quarter are gaining attention. Growing interest in pre-1970 American coins. Collectors love this era due to the switch from silver era coins trending. YouTube, TikTok, and online groups have boosted demand for mint errors. Online selling platforms booming: eBay, Etsy, whatnot. Heritage auctions all increase visibility. XF grade coins becoming harder to find. Most 1967 quarters have been heavily used for 50+ years. That makes extra fine examples more valuable today than ever before. Should you keep a 1967 quarter in extra fine condition? If you happen to find a 1967 quarter in extra fine condition, here's what you should do. Yes, keep it if it has strong details, it has a rare error, it looks cleaner than regular circulated coins, you want a collectible piece of 1960s U.S. history. Skip it if it's overly scratched, no error, very worn, only worth face value. And that brings us to the end of today's deep dive into the 1967 Washington quarter dollar in extra fine condition. It may not be a high-value rarity, but it is a beautiful piece of American history, and valuable error varieties can sell for impressive amounts. Top 5: the 1965 Washington quarter dollar from the United States of America. Even in bad condition, this coin can still surprise collectors, especially if it has one of the rare mint errors that can boost its value into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So stay with me until the very end, because this is a coin every collector should know about. History and background of the 1965 Washington quarter. Before we talk about market value, let's understand the history behind this coin. 1965 was one of the most important years in U.S. coinage history. Why? Because the U.S. Mint removed silver from circulation. Coins from 1932 to 1964. Washington quarters were made of 90% silver, but in 1965 rising silver prices, coin shortages, high hoarding by the public forced the government to change the metal composition. So in 1965, the quarter was redesigned with a copper-nickel clad composition. Outer layers: 75% copper, 25% nickel core, pure copper. Another important fact: there were no mint marks on U.S. coins in 1965. The Denver and San Francisco mints were producing coins, but they did not add mint marks due to the coin shortage crisis, so every 1965 quarter looks like it came from the same place, but in reality, several mints were involved. The U.S. Mint produced huge numbers of 1965 quarters, approximate mintage over 1.8 billion coins. This means the regular 1965 quarter in bad condition is not rare by itself. However, the key to big value lies in rare errors, misstrikes, and transitional planchet mistakes. Denomination: Quarter dollar, 25 cents, metal, copper nickel clad diameter, 24.3 millimeters weight, 5.67 grams. Designer, John Flanagan. Obverse, George Washington. Reverse, eagle with wings spread. While normal circulated coins are common, the 1965 Washington quarter became famous because of one incredible discovery: the rare 1965 silver quarter error. A few 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on 1964 silver planchets. These are worth $5,000 to $20,000 plus, depending on grade. Collectors constantly search for this error. How to check if your 1965 coin is silver. Silver weight, 6.25 g. Clad weight, 5.67 g. Silver version has no copper stripe on the edge. Sound test. Silver rings differently. Value of the 1965 quarter in bad condition, regular strike. Now let's talk about the value today, especially for coins in bad condition, as you requested. Regular 1965 quarter in bad condition. Face value, 25 cents. Collector value, 25 cents to $1. No big value unless there is an error, but don't worry, the value changes dramatically when an error is involved. Most valuable error. Varieties worth big money. These are the errors that make the 1965 quarter highly collectible. 1965 silver planchet error worth $5,000 to $20,000 plus. The most famous and valuable variety: double strike or OFF center strike, 5% to 60%. Low off center, $20 to $60. Major off center, $150 to $800 with full date visible, $300 plus. Broad strike error without collar ring value, $20 to $100. Clipped planchet error small clip, $10 to $30. Large clip, $50 to $150. Full brockage error rare and dramatic worth $500 to $2,000 plus. Struck on wrong planchet, dime or penny planchet, very rare, worth $700 to $3,000 plus. Market value today, 2024 to 2025. The coin market for U.S. clad quarters has become stronger in recent years due to rising interest in error coins. New collectors entering the hobby. Shortage of high-grade 1960s coins. Online auctions increasing demand. Current market value: bad condition regular coin, 25 cents to $1. Extra fine, $1 to $5. Uncirculated, $10 to $25. Certified MS-65, $60 to $150. Major errors, $100 to $20,000 plus. So, is the 1965 Washington quarter rare in normal condition? Not rare in bad condition. Low value. But it becomes a high value coin if you have silver. Transitional error: misstrikes, off-center strikes, wrong planchet strikes. Major minting mistakes. These are the coins that can turn a simple 25-cent piece into hundreds or thousands of dollars. Thanks for watching this detailed deep dive into the 1965 Washington quarter dollar. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon for more rare coin videos every day. Drop a comment below if you have a 1965 quarter, and I'll help you identify whether it has any of the rare errors that could be worth big money. Thanks for watching the Coin Spot, where every coin tells a story.